So last keyword was Chrom, Height of Hesse, as a possible and impossible though place for hosting such a website containing loads and loads and loads of personal and private information on people already dead or soon to be dead. Um, one could have a look there. Unlikely because it is very, very religious. But of course, it is not the capital where I would expect places for offering certain pleasures forbidden in Iran. So that guy with his Cannondale, a former neighbor for a few weeks only in Marburg too, then not yet having met Gerhard Tuschhofe, but having ticked already those crosses on that very formula Marburgian Statual Institute Psychology, where they would gather, if one is honest, they gathered people's addresses in order for further ados. So the ado with regard to my person, having intermingled that person into the circle where I would gather and meet, that was Gerhard Tuschhoff, to be intermingled in on orders of that institute, likely. And then he would establish himself as a bysitter. From my point of view, a bysitter, and as if preparing himself for futurist tasks and honorable, in inverted commas, undertakings, like testifying just anything. On grounds of a psychology study, which also, like my law study, take way too long, and by contrast, he himself is for certain not very good at psychologist, because he has problems that he did himself not overcome. And if it was the case that every psychology student has to undertake himself a kind of a procedure, which I was informed on by another person, by the son of a psychologist. So giving those people too much of attention and too stark of a role would soon be developable into detriments of whole a country if those people were placed into security authorities. I don't comply. This is really what I think. And as regards this institute in Switzerland, which would profit from those very fates, misdone fates, mine was misdone and other likely as well. Mere nonsense, what was readable there. And if not mere nonsense, then incomplete and therefore also inept for taking for a major role in or major advices. So that Iranian, he told me he was Iranian. I did not check that. He would sit on his saddle and behind me, and likely that he caught some smells. Long hair, summer, I might have taken a perfume. And what would that mean? One would interview him, and he would describe anything, and like flowery or sweet. And at that time, I did indeed use the same perfume as Christine Wilde. Maybe also Nadine Wischmann and Nicole Ehlers used the same, but for certain, Christine Wilde and me used the same very oily perfume. The oily perfume also to be found in Till Marburg 4 when I would change, because it was too flowery and I had stopped using that already early on. I think it is important, due again to the Q biochemistry undertakings, one must say. How to influence people, you do it with the perfume and so on and so forth. How do you trick people in which situations, and of course darkness will be great an advantage. The Arabs here that I throw an eye upon. the one too eager, too fast, hastily rushing into her flat in order to, I don't know what, but it was the very time or the very day when I stopped working on my laptop in order to go somewhere, drive somewhere, cycling or so, or buy me a Coke. And yeah, of course, I knew in inverted commas that those were reading my texts, but no one would listen. A gross mistake, as I would assume, a very, very, very gross mistake. Imagine what those people can do, yeah. So that one would be one of the first-hand readers of my Parfume text, which, by the way, is way not ready, way not. So um, I stopped working on that the very same day. This is what I would call responsibility, and even having played a major role in securing a certain things. Whilst they're the total opposite. They are operating, they have more money, they would again approach and think they are doing now the second round. I still don't have a clue how to get myself out, but as far as I'm concerned, I would not have agreed to letting read just anyone my text unless I hand it in myself. Where to, however, where to?